Hello and good morning, everybody. Welcome to this week's debrief. No intro on this video because I haven't got it saved on my phone, and this is all going to be done on my phone because, yeah, why not? We got a diary. We're in Andover this weekend, so we're at my parents' house. So it's a bit miserable today, but we'll deal with it. Very, very wet, windy, horrible weekend, but yes, we had a week. We had a week of work. Ooh. So this is my old bedroom, my parents' house. It's quiet here. Everyone's making noise everywhere else in the house, so we'll do it here. Hopefully the audio will be okay. I did buy a microphone for the phone, but it doesn't seem to be working, so scratch that. We'll do what we can. There we go. We haven't got cameras with us, so this is all we get. Either that or you don't get a debrief. I'm sure you'd rather have a debrief than no debrief. Debrief, DBD. You say it so much it loses all meaning, doesn't it? So we'll see how we get on. Right, we'll get straight into it. We'll make this one as quickly as we can. So we started Monday, 5:30 a.m. We run from the yard to the workshop to collect a flat trailer, empty one. Then we run from there to Selwoods in Eastleigh to collect a very small load, which was 5 6-metre pipes and one 90-degree bend. Once they're on, we took them up to Selwoods in Bedford, so it's just a stock movement for them. Once that was off, we then ran to a farm in Mentmore, which is near Leighton Buzzard, to load some straw. Once that was loaded, we run to a weighbridge off the A303 by Willoughby Hedge to weigh. So once we weighed, we parked up there. They let you stay for the night if you paid away and all that. Yeah, all very good. We finished at 7:30 p.m. We worked 14 hours and we drove 8 hours 53 minutes and we done 375 miles. That was Monday. On the Tuesday, we started at 6:30 a.m. We run from Willoughby Hedge to a farm near Bearminster to deliver the straw. We then run to Gore Cross to drop the flat trailer off, and then we run to Axminster to collect a curtain cider loaded with steel. We took that to a solar site in Chumley near Winkley. Once that was empty, then run down to Launceston to load some furniture. Once that was on, we then run all the way up to Bromwich or Bilston, somewhere in that sort of area, to unload. Once that was off, run to R&R storage yard, which is up that way, parked up for the night. Finished at 9:15 p.m. We worked 14 hours and 45 minutes that day. We drove 8 hours 51 minutes, and we done 372 miles. So that's September done. So obviously then we moved on to the Wednesday, which was October the 1st. So we started at 6:20 a.m. We run from Wednesbury, technically, to Skelmersdale to load steel. We run that south, but we met up with Carl at Gordano Services and we done a trailer swap. I then run up to Nantwich to Barry Distribution, and I had to take a massive detour, and that's going to be explained in Mayhem on the Roads this week. So once we arrived, we got unloaded. Once it was empty, we absolutely flew out the yard because we were getting very, very, very tight on time. And went and parked up in literally the nearest lay-by, which is about 3 minutes down the road. We finished at 9:22 p.m. We done 15 out. No, we done. I've written this wrong on here. There we go. We worked 15 hours and 2 minutes. We drove 10 hours on the dot. And we done 442 miles. I'll explain all that later. Thursday, we started at 6:30 a.m. We run from Nantwich to Skelmersdale to load more steelwork. Once that was loaded, run south to our storage yard in Axminster to drop the trailer. Then we bobtailed back to the yard, where we collected another flat trailer which had one pallet on it. We then took that to a customer in Piemore, took that off. I then went and dropped that trailer back in Gore Cross, and then went back to Piemore to another customer to collect another trailer that was loaded, which was a curtain cider, and then I drove home and parked up for the night. We finished at 6 p.m, so we done 11 and a half hours on Thursday. We drove 7 hours 21 minutes, and we done 298 miles. And then Friday came round, so I left my house at 5 a.m, ran from home all the way up to Bridgend to unload and then reload galvanisers. We then run all the way back to Piemore to drop that trailer. Then once that was dropped, we then drove to Gore Cross to check the trailers. So I looked at all the trailers and there, told my boss what was on them, etc., etc. So we knew what trailers were where. We then took a flat trailer next door to Hucknet's to load up for 2 drops. Put that back into Gore Cross in the storage area. I then took a curtain sider out of there to go down to another customer in Bridport to load up. Once that was loaded, I noticed that it had a bit of a soft tyre, so we took that to the workshop for them to sort out. Once that was sorted, parked the trailer back up at Gore Cross, dropped the trailer, bobtailed back to the yard, washed the truck, and finished for the week at 5 p.m. So we done 12 hours, we drove 6 hours 52 minutes, and we done 258 miles. That was our week. That's everything I did. So we put in a total of 981.52 litres of fuel. That's what we put in, not necessarily what we used. We done 1,745 miles, and we worked a total of 67 hours and 15 minutes. So yeah, 67 hours, 15 minutes. There's a question about that in a bit, so we'll get through to that. So yeah, there we go. That was my week. That's what we did. It was yeah, quite a full-on week. What, nearly 43 hours, 45 minutes in the first 3 days. So we done well. Big push, which is good. We like working hard. More hours means more money. So we'll get on to the next segment of the debrief, which is viewers' questions. So if you want me to answer a question, leave a question in the comments below, and I will answer it for you next week. It's effectively your way of getting a shout out. And ask me anything you want. Doesn't have to be about trucking, can be about other things as well. So yes. Last weekend we also fitted the coilovers to the Mazda, which was great. So that's all done. But there is going to be a video on that when I get a chance to actually edit it. So that could come out in the next week or 2. Let's get on to viewers' questions. So, question number 1 from Only Me. If you see any R&R drivers, would you ask them if Dringy, not seen him put anything up for a bit, about 2 years now? So Dringy used to be another YouTuber, and he used to do cooking and that as well on the channel. I don't think he ever worked for R&R. I think he worked for Westfields, and I think he also worked for Conway Bailey's. I think Conway Bailey's and R&R are kind of like pally with each other. I don't know the ins and outs of it all. But I'm pretty sure it was Conway Bailey where he last worked. I don't know. I haven't seen him for a bit. But no, he's a nice chap, but I assume he's just busy with other things in life. That's it. So I don't know if any of the R&R drivers know him, but I might ask a Conway Bailey driver if I see him. So, question number 2 from John Stokes. Any driving videos? Yeah. He commented on last week's debrief video and asked, any driving videos? Yeah. I've got lots of driving videos. Just have a look at my channel. Most of them are driving videos. There's a lot of them. Question number 3 from Random Grumpy Old Man. He says, does Colin Brown still run Canes? He still owns it all, but his 2 sons run it, Ben and Rory, who are my bosses. Do they still wholesale veg? Yep, they still do the veg. How many wagons do they run and how many trailers? Wagons, 11, I think. I don't know, 10, 11 at any one time, I suppose. As for trailers, lots. We got about 30 trailers, I think, something like that. I don't know how many exactly. There we go. Last time I counted, we had a trailer donation for trailer 32, I think. So it might be 32 trailers. Don't quote me on that. Question number 4 from Kevin Sallows. Hi Jono, do you like the new DAF XFs? Sort of, they're okay. The new DAF XFs have actually taken the place of the CF, so the XF is now the smaller truck. It's the XG, which is the bigger one now. So yeah, they're okay. They're a truck, I suppose. I'd rather have an XG than an XF if you're talking about the newer ones. Yeah, like I said, the XF has taken over the CF, so yeah. Yeah, they're okay. David Moore. Where did you deliver in Tilehurst, as I lived there some years ago? before moving to Norfolk, sorry. To a little industrial estate. I can't remember what it's called now. So, yeah, I think it was called Crefields. I think it's an MDF place we deliver to there occasionally. Yeah, it's somewhere in Tylehurst. I'll put a thing up to tell you. Question number 6 from Arnie. Get out now. I don't think it's Schwarzenegger, is it? This is, I think most people, non-HGV, would consider 65 hours a week a lot. Just wondering, when you're doing these kinds of hours, are you choosing to do overtime, or is it a kind of standard week expected by your company? To be fair, with HGV driving, your money is in how many hours you do. It sort of depends on the job. If you work for a company that pays you day rate, then your hourly wage is dependent on how many hours you do. You know, if somebody pays you £150 a day, if you do 10 hours in a day, you'll get paid £15 an hour. If you do 15 hours, you get paid £10 an hour. So, yeah. For me, I get paid hourly, so it benefits me to work as many hours as possible. A lot of HGV companies would expect about 50 hours out of most people, but you will usually run up to about 60 hours a week with most places. There are some places where you will do less hours. For my company, it's a case of, you know, if you're going to work, you know, do it, you know, get on with it. You know, I will push my hours as much as I can, because at the end of the day, it's more money in my pocket. So, yeah, I'm not expected to do that many hours, but I do that many. I just, yeah. The more I work, the more I get paid, the more my boss gets paid. So, yeah, all good. Question number 7 from Truckin' Lee asks, how do you get a tacho to print a full week? I can see a day print, but not a week option. That's because there isn't a week option. You can literally print a day, or you can print events, or you can print something else. I can't remember what it is. But you can't print a whole week. You can choose each individual day you want to print, so you can change the date of the days you print. So you could print one day and then choose to print the next day, and then choose to print the next day, and then it will just print out in one big list. Obviously you'll have to print each day separately. So yeah, there's no actual option for printing a whole week. Question number 8 from Mickey Luda, is it? Sorry if I've ruined your name there. Do you ever miss driving the 18-tonners? I enjoy hitting apexes in the rigid. Yeah, you like flying around in the old rigids, do you? Sometimes I miss it. I do much prefer driving the Arctics. It's a bit more of a challenge, and I don't know, it's just bigger. Bigger's better, isn't it? Yeah, sometimes I do miss driving the rigids. I do miss the work that come with the rigids, but personally, I guess a little bit, but not much. I wouldn't mind having a go on one again here and there sometimes, but not really much need for it at our place. So, yeah, kind of, but I do prefer the Arctics. And finally, question number 9 from Lenny Perry, whatever it is, sorry. Where is your most favourite place to drive anywhere in the country in a lorry or car? Either the centre of Wales, you know, through all the valleys, you know, around Brecon and all that, or up in Scotland somewhere, especially out the Highlands and that. Doesn't matter whether I'm in a car or truck, whatever's more comfortable. I would rather drive in my car, but don't always get the option for that, so I suppose in a truck. But yeah, anywhere that's quiet and nice, tight, twisty roads, somewhere fun. That's what we like. Wales and Scotland have definitely got the better driving roads out of the whole of the UK, as far as I'm concerned. So there we go. That was our 9 questions for the week. So, like I said, if you've got anything to ask me for next week, leave it in the comments of this video below. If you leave it in other videos, I'm likely to miss it. So, ask away. Plenty of questions this week, which was nice. So, we'd like a few more for next week. So, see how you get on. Right, we'll go on to our next little segment. So, as I said on the Wednesday with the whole mayhem, we'll talk you through it. So, mayhem on the roads around Nantwich. So, I had an 8 o'clock booking at Nantwich for Barrier Distribution. And I was heading up the roads, as I normally do, come off at junction whatever off the M6. And then normally I head north up the A51 from Nantwich towards Bowie Distribution. Now, I didn't see any pre-warning for these roadworks, and I literally got there as they shut the road. I got there at 7 o'clock, and I was due at Bowie Distribution for about 10 past, 7:15. I wasn't the only one that's been caught out in this, so as I was driving up, I didn't see any yellow signs warning me of the roadworks. There might have been, but I might not have seen them. Anyway, I got up to the actual roundabout, and it said road closed, so I thought, okay, and it had a diversion sign pointing that way. So I thought, okay, next exit then. So I come off at the next exit, went up the road, nothing, and I had to keep driving up till I turned around because I thought, well, this road don't go nowhere. So done about an 8-mile trip to then turn around and come back down to the roundabout, and then I actually drove through the road closed sign to go up there and see where it was actually closed. So I went up to the actual roadworks, and I was like, okay, so then there was nowhere I could go from there, so I managed to get myself spun round, plenty of room there. Come back down to the roundabout. It's only when you're coming back down to that roundabout you actually see where the diversion points you. Bearing in mind it's a 5-exit roundabout, this sign has 4 exits on it, and it's pointing straight on. On this roundabout, it's got 2 exits, one just before 12 o'clock and one just after 12 o'clock. So I thought, okay, well, I'll take the first one first. So I go off there, go up to the next roundabout, nothing, not a diversion sign at all. So I thought, okay, it must be through the town then. So I drove back to the roundabout, I took the next exit, which was also pretty much straight across, as I said. I went down there, went through Nantwich. I thought, well, I can't see nothing here, but I know there's a route you can cut through to then come up to the crossroads that go onto the A51. Go up through Acton, I think it is. So yeah, started driving up round there, up through there. No road close signs, nothing like that, until you literally get to the barricade of the roadworks. There was no pre-warning of it whatsoever. So I got up there, there's another truck in front of me, and there's another one behind me as well. So we were all in the same situation, no warning of it whatsoever. So the first truck managed to get turned round, I turned round, then the truck behind me turned round, and then we all went our separate ways. The Chamberlain truck turned off at roundabout, I went straight across, and then I had to go all the way up to Middlewich, and then all the way across Winsford, and then down into Bowie Distribution that way. And that was a 51-minute diversion. 51 minutes. But up that north side, they had plenty of signage warning of the road closure, which was crazy. And then, as I was driving down the A51, there's a set of crossroads in the village just north of Bowie Distribution. And they'd put signs, like, just in front of where the traffic lights are. But there was nowhere near enough room for a truck to get through that. So I had to go the wrong side of the traffic lights to then go past that to then get down to the customer. And it's absolutely ridiculous. It's like there's a massive distribution centre there that runs 24 hours, and you're putting roadworks up like that. There was whoever set up them roadworks at Nantwich needs to be sacked. It was bloody awful. There were trucks getting, well, there's nowhere for us. It wasn't sending us anywhere. There was no diversion for us whatsoever. I literally had to sit at the road for 2 minutes and have a look at maps to figure out where I had to go, because there was no yellow signage for the roadworks, no diversion. So yeah, it literally took you to one roundabout and then there was nothing, absolutely nothing. It was awful. Because of that, I got to Bowie Distribution at 24 minutes past 8 when I was due there at 10 past 7. So yeah, that's how much longer it took me. They will let you in half hour either side of your booking time, which my booking time was 8:30. So I flew there and I got there just in the nick of time with like 6 minutes spare. I got in and I went to the desk and I said, is there any way we can sort of push me through a bit quick, because I'm starting to run out of time now. So we went in, they said, this is what you can do. I sat there and I thought, right, I'll sit here till 9 o'clock. If no one comes and gets me by 9 o'clock, I'll go and get my paperwork and leave so I can park up, because I had till 20 past 9. Anyway, someone come out, called me in, we went in, they got me tipped really, really quick. To be fair, they done really well. I shut the curtains up when I drove out, and I left there with, I didn't realise I was so close on the 10-hour drive as well. I had 5 minutes left on a 10-hour drive, and I had 3 minutes left on a 15-hour day. So I probably drove a little bit too quick through that yard bush. And then got out the security gate and then flew down the road. There's a couple of laybys, like literally 3 minutes down the road. So by the time I got down there, spun round and parked up in the one I wanted, I just ticked over 2 minutes over a 15-hour day. And as I stopped, my driving time ticked from 9:59 to 10 hours on the dot. So we parked up just enough time on the driving time. 2 minutes on the working time. it's okay. It's not really, they're not really going to bother that. So I've done a printout. I've written on it what happened. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. If it weren't for them roadworks, I would have been there more than enough time. I would have been a lot more relaxed. Wouldn't have had any problems. Yeah. Just no pre-warning. If there was diversion signs straight away and a pre-warning, the A51 was shut, I would have just gone straight for the diversion, and I would have got there still by 8 o'clock. But, well, not 8 o'clock, I would have been there at just after 8, but I would have been there a lot sooner. So yeah, there was some very, very, very poor planning on them roadworks. And the whole time I was being tipped, I was just having a look on my TomTom and Google Maps, and not a single one of them said the road was shut at any point when I was up there. Throughout the entirety of their own roadworks, Google Maps and TomTom did not say that road was shut at all. So I don't know what the hell that was about, but yeah, it screwed me up and it screwed up many other drivers. So there we go. That was mayhem on the roads this week. Also, big lorry fire on the M5 with electric cars on it, but win-win. Hopefully everyone involved that was okay, but yeah, never mind. So we'll go on to our next little segment, Car of the Week. So we had a very nice one this week. We actually saw a couple of cool little cars. Did see a Robin Reliant, which was quite nice. Don't see many Robin Reliants these days, but my Car of the Week this week was a very, very tidy, very clean Mazda FD RX-7. Oh, nice. One of my friends, James, used to have one, and it was a fantastic little car. Yeah, it was quick as anything, really quick. And yeah, unfortunately, he got a job in the army, and then it just sort of left to rot. So sold it for not much. Yeah, that was a fun little car to drive. But yeah, it was very, very nice to see a very clean example of an FD RX-7 driving up the road. So yeah, I do very much like the RX-7s. They're very, very small inside. Like, my Mazda's a lot bigger inside than what an RX-7 is. I think it is anyway. But there we go. That was that one. And then we'll get on to our last little segment, which is favourite comment of the week. This favourite comment comes from someone that actually met me this week. I've seen her a couple of times at the truck shows, sorry, but yeah, she saw me at Podimore Services. So she left me a comment and said, from Elizabeth May Brown, says, "Hi John, nice to see you this morning at Podimore Services, and thank you for the stickers. Passed one to my daughter Amy, who was very impressed. Hope you found the drop at Axon earlier reasonably easy to get into. Have a great week." So yeah, it was nice to see you, Elizabeth, again. Obviously I've seen you at a few of the truck shows before with your daughters and whatever, daughter or whatever. So yeah, it was... it's always nice to have people come up to me and say hello. So if you do see me out and about and I'm parked up, as long as me curtains aren't shut in the truck, come and say hello. I'm always welcome when people come say hello to me. So yeah. Yeah. So got a video out Monday, of course, of me doing stuff in the truck. Check it out. If you want to see what I done earlier this week with the straw, that's going to be in the video start of November. So there's that. First time I've done straw this year. So, well, first time I've done straw near the summer. I've done straw earlier in the year, but I didn't do any through the summer, so this is like the first time I've done straw in a little bit, so yeah, that was nice. Anyway, that's it. Take it easy, look after yourselves, drive safely, and I'll see you next one. Goodbyes!